It's juicy, it's high, it's slow, and it's so yummy, and in your head you're already celebrating, and then you're doing this. In this video, I'm going to show you how to not miss those sitters again, and of course, the drills that you need to be doing to get rock solid on those juicy ones. I see mainly one of two things that players are doing wrong when they're missing those balls. Number one is they simply stop moving their legs. You bend over the ball and you hit down on the ball and you dump it into the net. The other mistake that I'm seeing a lot is, you guessed it, the huge take back. Because the ball is so slow, you feel like you have all the time in the world. You want to make it the highlight reel shot and you're swinging like crazy, and then you nail it right into the fence. I actually want to start with the second one, the overhit high volley, juicy volley, sitter volley, whatever you want to call it. The ball is slower. It sits there, and that's the reason why we think we have to generate a whole lot of power. And a lot of players think the only way that they can generate power is to take a huge take back. And that's exactly what you don't want to do. You want to consider a couple of things. Most likely, if you have earned that higher, slower volley, you already put a heck of a lot of pressure on your opponent. And most likely you pushed him off the court. So there's no reason to hit it that hard. So you're better off, instead of taking a huge swing, and that of course can be true on the backhand as well, be okay and content to simply use the time factor. The fact that you are taking the ball out of the air, you're taking so much time away from them, simply redirect the ball into the open part of the court. The other thing to consider is, because it's a higher ball, you have another benefit, and that is that you're able to hit down a little bit more. Because you are above net line, you can open angles. Something that you're going to have a hard time doing if, for instance, you have a really low transition volley. But if you have a slower volley up here, you can open angles. Let's talk a little bit about how far you can take the racket back. Because the ball is slower and it is higher, you will have to generate a lot of your own power. Again, I'm not talking about crazy power. So it is absolutely okay to take the racket back a little bit. You will see in the volleys that I'm about to hit that I am taking my racket back, but it's all about the timing. If the ball is a little higher and a little slower, and those are the balls that we're talking about in this video, it's okay to take the racket back a little bit, because that still gives me time to make contact where I should be making contact, in front. But of course, if I take it way too far back and then I swing in a completely uncontrolled manner, of course I'm going to miss him. Which brings me back to the first point. Swinging, no swinging. If your feet stop moving, you're going to lean over the ball and you're most likely going to miss it. It's too easy to then dump the ball into the net, especially if you're volleying with the tip of the racket up. Because if you're doing this, stop, and the ball's not really there, I'm going to reach and I'm going to dump it right into the net. So you have to keep your feet moving through the ball. One of the best cues I was ever given was to keep my lower body under my upper body. In other words, I want to stay really balanced and stride through the ball. One of the reasons I'm blaming for that is actually that a lot of times I'm hearing this: step, and then you hit your volley. Most all of the time, your front foot is actually still in the air as you're making contact with the ball. So you're really trying to work on striding through, and you're hitting and stepping at the same time, because you're driving forward from your outside leg. This is not what you want. You want to move through the ball. So what we're working on is high percentage play. Again, you don't want to overhit. And if you're interested in the highest percentage tennis, I urge you to check out the Fuzzy Yellow Balls app. And there you want to click on the New Rules of Singles 2023, because Will Hamilton has come up with a whole lot of new moves based on the statistics that Craig Shaughnessy has been collecting on the Pro Tour. So check that out. I'll put the link down below. Let's keep going with the sitter volleys. All right, and here are a couple of drills that you can do to work on this. So in this drill, We're going cross court. Andy is up at the net, and I will try to keep the ball low until I pop a ball up. And you see where I positioned the target. I actually don't want him to go deep. I want him to go a little bit shorter there, because it's so often the case that somebody just wants to go for too much and hits him out. And we're also going to do it the other way. And again, you want to do it shorter because that opens angles a lot more. All right, ready? Close, close, close. Yep. All right, I popped that up a little bit. Yep. And that's exactly why you want to bring that target in a little bit. Okay, that's a pop-up. Close in. There we go. All right, same drill, only that we're going down the line here. And when I pop it up, Andy goes to the shorter target because that opens the court. Ah, right there. Good. And go. Good. That's not necessarily pop-up, but that is a more realistic play because you saw that I'm out of the frame almost. And that's a very easy volley, and he has to continue to move through. All right, so next drill, and this is a little bit more double specific, I want to call it. We're going cross court and basically just pretending that we have a quick volley exchange. I'll try to keep him low, but I will pop a ball up. And again, Andy goes to the feet of the other player. Oh. And close. There we go. Now, of course, we can do this drill that I have the chance to close in when he pops up a ball. So I'm not just feeding. I'm trying to keep the ball low. That counts. I don't think it's going to get any better than this. Okay, one other drill, pretty brutal, but really good, is the Pat Rafter drill. And I got my ball machine set up. What you're doing is you hit and you tap the net, because that guarantees that you're moving through the ball. So let's see. I'm trying to do sets of 4. Oh. Oh, are you too late, too slow? Yep, and by the time that I'm resetting, whew, the ball's already dropped, but you got to deal with it. Go ahead and check out my Patreon membership site. For as little as $5, you get early access and you get more videos that I'm not publishing anywhere else. And if you're up to Grand Slam level, you're joining our monthly live Zoom call. And there's some more other perks that are also worth checking into.